My brother recently came to me complaining of memory issues. He had a problems with the short-term memory. His long-term memory was fine, but short-term memory was off. So we tried some neuropeptides, and lo and behold, his symptoms have improved. It was slow improvement, but nevertheless, first he started improving his visual memory, and then his verbal memory started coming back. My name is Dr. Eldar Baigabatov. I usually go by Dr. Eldar since people can't pronounce my last name. I'm originally from Kazakhstan, but I've been in the United States since 2000. I'm originally trained as an internal medicine physician, but since then I progressed into or changed into an integrative, functional, regenerative, aesthetic, and cosmetic medicine doctor. So we're based out of Winter Garden, Florida. Our experience with peptides started with bioregular peptides by Kevin Son. Right, this is back in 3 to 5 years ago when we used oral biopeptides, trying to do something different than the regular peptides that they have, simorelin, ipamorelin, ibutamorin, all that stuff. We had peptides specifically for different organs, and instead of using regular medications like thyroid replacement, testosterone replacement, I wanted to restore natural functions of the body. So that's how our story started, or our experience with bioregular peptides started. My brother is 45 years old, so his issue was that at one point he lost his job and went into a bad depression. He wasn't really taking care of himself, so he kind of went down, so to speak. One day he was coming back from one of the projects that he was doing, and he called my mom and said, "Hey, Mom, I don't feel so good." As I was climbing up the stairs, he collapsed. His past medical history showed that he had traumatic brain injury. One, when he was in a motor vehicle accident, he was thrown out through the windshield and found himself on the side of the road, bleeding and passed out. Right? He woke up, was like, "Hey, what's going on?" The other time, he was basically jumped on by gangsters. Some people were trying to rob him and mug him. He was beaten up by that time. I had him do specific lab tests that I normally do in the United States. But unfortunately, they couldn't do all of the labs, so I got partial results. Based on those lab results, I sent him specific regimen. I started improving his hormones, sent him nutrients, I started putting him on anti-inflammatories, and he had some improvements. He became a little bit stronger physically, but mentally he was still far behind. He came to the United States at the end of December, just before his birthday, actually. His birthday was December 29th. So he came to the United States, and was, right away we started doing some blood work to do more extensive labs to see what else is going on. As soon as we got the blood work, we started him on hormone replacement therapy like pellet therapy. I started him on IV nutrient replacement. I started him on EBO treatment, which is an ozone IV therapy with UV light that cleanses the blood, improves circulation, oxygenation, whatnot. And then we did IV exosomes with the mannitol to help you improve blood-brain barrier, followed by the cerebrolysin and CORTEXIN. What happened was I was giving him all these other treatments, hormone replacement therapy, IVs, and ozone, even neural therapy, which involves procaine. And one of my colleagues from neural therapy group told me about, "Hey, why don't you I'm using cerebrolysin with my father, with my sister, and I think father had Alzheimer's and sister had something else." He told me about cerebrolysin and CORTEXIN, and I went ahead and found the CosmicNootropic website and purchased it, tried it, and it seemed to be working. I looked at CosmicNootropic, I looked at the protocols, and there was increased amount in mLs, how much you have to give. When you do intramuscular injections, you can go up to 5 ml, but anything past that will be an issue. And for his particular protocol, it required up to 20 ml. So that's why I chose to go with intravenous rather than intramuscular. Intramuscular will get it in, but intravenous will work much faster. Well, I looked on YouTube videos. I looked at the website on CosmicNootropics. I tried to research all the information on it, tried to do side effects and benefits and pros and cons and different protocols. I did speak to my colleague who recommended this stuff to begin with. So his experience, and he had nothing but good things to say. To administer cerebrolysin and CORTEXIN, I did not realize that you're not supposed to mix both two together. You can mix cerebrolysin in D5W, which is D50 dextrose with water. You can put it in saline, or you can put it in lactate glutinous. You can follow it back with the CORTEXIN IV injection, but I went ahead and tried both, mixing both CORTEXIN and cerebrolysin in the same bag and administered without any side effects. My brother trusts me with everything I did because everything I've done for him so far was beneficial. Never had any problems. But when we did intravenous cerebrolysin CORTEXIN, he had no side effects. He did feel lighter, his head felt better. He had less headaches, right? His memory was improving. We've done it every day, Monday to Friday. It was 5 days a week, and we did it for about 2 weeks. And I don't know if it was from the first try. I think he already had some improvements from other treatments, but I think it just sped up the process. As I was doing the treatments, he's like, "Wait a second." He's like, I remember this, I remember that. And it's like, my head doesn't hurt as much, I don't feel dizzy. my numbness is going away, those things. But then when he went home, that's when he really realized. They are used to him asking the same question a million times a day. When my brother came back home, my mom and his wife, and even my dad's like, wow, this is a totally different person. This is like, how to say, clouds of the sky and the ground, right? It's like earth and sky. So different is a completely huge change. He was happier. His memory worked better. He was stronger. He was actually, his wife picked him up from the airport. She couldn't keep up with him. He was so fast. He was walking so fast back home. We will probably repeat his blood work in another 2 months and see where he stands. Look at his nutrients, look at his hormone balance, look at other things. And I would love to repeat his MRI maybe in a 6 to 12 months period of time. I would probably have him come back to United States again next year and repeat some of the treatments and maybe repeat the MRI. We have a lot of clients that come here and say, like, I have a brain fog, right? I just like, my brain is not working as fast as like I'm in the fog. I can't think straight. I can't remember things. I go into the room and I forget why I came to the room to begin with. You know, a lot of it does improve with testosterone replacement, hormone replacement, nutrient, whatnot. But I would like to add this therapy and say, hey, this is something that actually feeds your brain. It's like nutrients for the brain. It switches on the genetics to make your brain work better and faster. Sometimes it's difficult for people to come to the office and have this IV done on a daily basis. We will try to use intramuscular injections, maybe at lower dose up to 5 mLs. But if they want to see a much better improvement, then 20 ml is the way to go. The issue is that you have to use the product as soon as you break the ampoule. Because you cannot just fill up syringes and give them and say, hey, go home and just inject it on a daily basis. The whole idea of having intravenous is because from blood is where it goes to the rest of the body. If you have to do subcutaneous injection, intramuscular injection, that's probably second best route. Third route would be sublingual, and the last route would be oral. If you cannot do intravenous, intramuscular would be a second option, but intravenous by far. Like that's why when you have infection and you can't fight it, you go to the hospital and get your IV antibiotics. It works right away. The neuropeptides can be used not just ADD, ADHD, and brain fog and Alzheimer's. It's anything brain-related, cognition, memory, processing, vascular issues, like previous injury, brain trauma, strokes, and whatnot. So people actually who had strokes needed to recover, and the peptides will promote your own healing. So the whole idea of peptides that started back in when it was a Cold War era, right? So the army, the government went to the army doctors and say, listen, we have a problem. We have this nuclear submariners stationed in these waters and they're staying there for a long time. And because of the bad environment, they age faster. So what can we do to improve their health and have them stay longer? They started extracting specific sequences of amino acids and say, you know what, this amino acids is specific only to this organ. To add to the end, it's a developing technology. I mean, it's been in existence for a while, but just like everything else in the United States, we're always behind. All the other countries, Russians have been doing this for many years. Europeans are doing it for many years, but the United States is very litigious. But nowadays people are more open because they realize, you know what, regular medicine, it doesn't cut it. Well, just like any other prescription medicine or treatment, obviously none of these treatments are without side effects. And you have to go to your doctor and be able to look at what happens before, what kind of levels you had before, what symptoms and signs you had before, and then do the treatments and compare after. It's not something like, oh, you buy off the shelf and let me inject myself and I'm gonna be super smart, right? It's not gonna work that way.